your show now, press 1. To hear important...
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Nobody take no cornbread from me.
Share this on your social media. Tim Black's Wolfpack. Okay, people. Let's hope we're good. Let's hope. Looks good. Hey, there we go. All right. Here we go, guys. We're coming. Here we go. All right. Hey, what's up, people? How you doing? Welcome. Mic check, 1, 2. Mic gets loud, don't it? How you doing, guys? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black Show. This is TB Tuesdays. Thank you for being here. Phone lines are open to 319-527-6212. This is the political show where people call up from all over the world to talk about the issues that matter to them. You can do so now by dialing 319-527-6212. The number's up on the screen. We did it early today, guys. That's right. Some people weren't able to get through on the phone lines last night. If you call, I will scan for you. I've got some callers I wrote down from yesterday's special show where we opened up phone lines on a Monday. We had a pretty big crowd yesterday because, well, there's a lot going on and people had a lot to talk about. But before we get into too much of what we're going to talk about today, I'd like to go make sure that we're live on all platforms. This is the internet. It's sometimes unreliable. Let's go check it out with Facebook. What's up, Facebook? How y'all doing? Lokeesh, what's up? Trey Rec. Okay. I need to really read messages first. God. Yeah. John Britwell. So I had to deal with my Facebook people. I said if we reach a certain number of supporters on Facebook, 100, I would raise the number of days. We didn't reach it, but I did it anyway because, well, I thought it was necessary. So that's kind of how that happened. Cardi B and Bernie are online right now? Okay. Oh, don't post. Why are people posting videos in my... Yeah. Anyway, please don't post videos in my Facebook feed, man. I tell you, man, just most disrespectful people on earth, you know? You got to watch this while you're watching this show. What's up, Nicole? What's up, Victoria? What's up, Jason? Yeah, we're going to try to make it a great show. Kind of started off rocky, didn't it? Kind of a little rocky there. Hey, what's up, what's up, John? You know it. What's up, Michael Rudnin? Jason Kaplan, good to see you as well, Johnson. Dave Freeman, Freddie Fry. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, Don Myers. George is in the house. Wendell in the house. Hey, Carrie. Amy Fisher. Linda Sadu. Thank you, Linda. Appreciate it. Yeah, I try to dress it up. I care about my audience. I want you to feel like, you know, put a little thought into the show. I'm just going to go ahead. Okay, so what's up, Uli? Yeah, that is Uli. Hey, Uli, you changed your picture. Hey, Sherry, how you doing? What's up, Michael? And now, YouTube peoples. What's up, YouTube peoples? How y'all doing? Joe, Brian, Violet. Yes, Brian, I got it, Brian. I got the message. Hey, David, Melford, what's up, brother? Jilly Love, Joe, Ducka. Buddy, what's up? Fastrolia. Big brother Dave. Princess Queen, Burnt Out One, Ty Andrews, Anna, Antonio, Katrina, Sarah K, Cameron, Karen M. Well, we got a nice crowd going on Facebook and on YouTube. This is great. Now, guys, before we get cranking, I want you to know we're experiencing a downturn lately. Ever since a brother stuck with Bernie, things got hard in the paint for a brother. So I need you to share this on social media. Share the show because we got to get our numbers back. I've been through this so many times with YouTube. If you notice, my YouTube numbers are going backwards. Yeah, it's not a function of what I'm doing. It's a function of what YouTube is doing. See, they're making sure that new people don't find the show, and then they're unsubscribing people. This happens all the time. So if you're a supporter of the show, I'd appreciate it if you shared the show, and maybe we could fight the algorithm, which is erasing subscribers. Some people are unsubscribing, honestly, too, though. Some people do unsubscribe. The hate Bernie wave has washed over the internets, and hence it's why a lot of people are going with it. Okay, that's what happens. So what we do in media is we build it up, we ride the wave up, and the first person to sense it's going down, the first person to turn tide and to stab it, mark it dead, and bash it wins. Because we build it up and then we tear it down. How many people know what I'm talking about? We build up stars, right? Ride the wave, and then we tear it down. First to tear it down wins. First to tear it down wins. This is just because people write me every day. They're like, Tim, I can't believe it. You're like one of the only people that's not bashing the hell out of Bernie. Well, I'm like, I didn't get the memo. Yeah, they're like, I can't believe it. I used to watch this other show, and no disrespect to them, they were on point, and then all of a sudden, they're like anti-Bernie. Like, yeah, now you're getting it, Johnson. Well, we're going to call it out for what it is. We're going to keep it real. Yeah, I'm not saying anyone is above criticism. But I actually, before we get started, guys, I want to put this out there. Someone actually said Bernie wasn't trying to win. Yeah, they said Bernie wasn't trying to win the presidency. He was just, and I'm like, where'd you get this from? Who told you that? I mean, damn, man, the guy has a heart attack on the campaign trail. I'd call that trying, Johnson. Y'all some cold motherfuckers, man, when you don't like it, when somebody disappoints you. Oh, my God. Now, you can say he made some bad calls. You can say the team did not calibrate well after Super Tuesday or after South Carolina. But to say the guy wasn't trying to win. You weren't saying that after Nevada, were you, when he'd won 3 contests in a row? No, but now that he's out, now you say he wasn't trying to win. As someone who traveled and saw Bernie and Senator Nina Turner do 3 performances in one day, that's not easy to do. I don't know how much performing you do, how much running around you do. But to see them do that and to hear you say they weren't doing it on purpose, like it was not for real, that's like a total slap in the face. So I'm just saying, like, what I believe is that there's a hub where bad narratives are born. They create these narratives and they build them up and they shoot them out like an email list. Yeah, I noticed like on the Rising, Saga made a comment today about. Now this was a tweet, okay, because I don't watch the show, but there was a comment today in Saga's tweet where he said, "Damn, Bernie beat Obama to the endorsement." He endorsed Biden before Obama did. Yeah, Bernie endorsed Biden before Obama did. Ain't that something? Something to those lines. And I'm like, damn, really? And then I was looking on YouTube and I saw a title of a Fox News video was the same title. Exact same talking point. I said, there it is. And see, I told you guys yesterday that it's a guy named Finkelstein who owns The Hill, is a very close friend to Donald Trump. So what I'm telling you, I always wondered in this business, how is it just magically that people have the same talking points? Like, who sends out the memos? How does everybody, you ever notice that it'll be like everybody from a certain group all say the same things, almost verbatim, right? And I know we also that creepy video where they had like these news agencies all under one umbrella, right? What I'm telling you is that exists in a lot of different media, even independent media. Yeah, you'll see TYT put out a story, and then you'll see like other people who are affiliated with the network, whether they're employees or associates or contractors or whatever, but they are affiliated under the TYT network umbrella. And you'll see they'll have videos, same title, very close to the same title. That's because they're all connected. And I'm thinking there must be like an email list or something they send out. This is what we're covering, guys. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a part of a network. I'm a solo operator. Which is why you can trust me, Johnson. Well, now that I made a lot of friends with the opening of the show, man. Now that I made so many friends, I know people, damn, Tim Black, you're destroying the left. No, I'm not destroying the left. Why is it that when they're doing what they're doing, that's not called destroying it? Why isn't pillaring Bernie Sanders not considered destroying the left? Why is it when I call out the nonsense, that's destroying the left? Why isn't it destroying the left when they do it? Because you like them more. It's okay if you like them more. But you don't get to call what they do justice, just calling it straight, speaking their truth. But when I do it, it's bashing, splintering the left, being negative. Like, you don't get to do that. That's not fair. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Mine just happens to be the correct one. To me, Johnson, to me. And I'm sure it's the correct. Hopefully they feel that their opinion or their stance is correct as well. I hope. I'm not so sure of it, but I hope. Now, there's only 2 things I want to talk about before we go to phone lines because I'm sure everybody has a lot to say. And I'm down with making sure everybody gets their say. And I want to make sure people talk and get their conversation on. But I got to start the show a little bit. So let me start it this way. How many of you miss Obama endorsing Joe Biden? Because some of you probably at work, you didn't watch this clip, right? So Look, if you've already seen it, now would be a time to go get a drink of water, maybe a sandwich, some hummus, something, some naan and some hummus, and then come back, right? If you already saw it. But if you have not seen it, for the benefit of the rest of the wolf pack who may not have saw it, I have to play it. Also, be prepared to hold one's nose. I don't want you getting sick and blaming Tim Black, man. I don't have insurance. You can't get sick and say, Tim Black got me sick. And send me cleaning bills for your clothes because you threw up on them. Don't do that. I'm warning you now. You're going to want to get sick. It's like seeing a fresh baby diaper. You know what I'm saying? Open. Right here. It's bad for you. You're going to want to get sick. But don't blame me. I didn't make him say it, and I'm giving you the option of not watching. With no more further to do, here goes the clip.
Honesty and humility, empathy and grace. That kind of leadership doesn't just belong in our state capitals and mayor's offices. It belongs in the White House. And that's why I'm so proud to endorse Joe Biden for President of the United States. Choosing Joe to be my vice president was one of the best decisions I ever made, and he became a close friend. And I believe Joe has all the qualities we need in a president right now. He's someone whose own life has taught him how to persevere, how to bounce back when you've been knocked down. When Joe talks with parents who've lost their jobs, we hear the son of a man who once knew the pain of having to tell his children that he'd lost his. When Joe talks about opportunity for our kids, we hear the young father who took the train home each night so he could tuck his children into bed. And we hear the influence of Jill, a lifelong teacher. When Joe talks to families who've lost a hero, we hear another parent of an American veteran, a kindred spirit, somebody whose faith has endured the hardest loss there is. That's Joe. Through all his trials, he's never once forgotten the values or the moral fiber that his parents passed on to him and that made him who he is. That's what steels his faith in God, in America, and in all of us. That steel made him an incredible partner when I needed one the most. Joe was there as we rebuilt from the Great Recession and rescued the American auto industry. He was the one asking what every policy would do for the middle class, and everyone's striving to get into the middle class. That's why I asked him to implement the Recovery Act, which saved millions of jobs and got people back on their feet. Because Joe gets stuff done. Joe helped me manage H1N1 and prevent the Ebola epidemic from becoming the type of pandemic we're seeing now. He helped me restore America's standing and leadership in the world on the other threats of our time, like nuclear proliferation and climate change. Joe has the character and the experience to guide us through one of our darkest times and heal us through a long recovery. And I know he'll surround himself with good people. Experts, scientists, military officials who actually know how to run the government and care about doing a good job running the government and know how to work with our allies and who will always put the American people's interests above their own. Now, Joe will be a better candidate for having run the gauntlet of primaries and caucuses alongside one of the most impressive Democratic fields ever. Each of our candidates were talented and decent, with a track record of accomplishment, smart ideas, and serious visions for the future. Farther than any other. Bernie Sanders.
I gotta stop it, man. I can't listen to no more of that, man. I can't do it, man. I can't do it to you either, man. I can't make you sit through that. I'm your friend. Just because I had to be tortured doesn't mean you should have to be tortured. I took the bullet for you, Johnson. Now, before we even dig into what he was saying there, the first thing I was thinking as I was listening earlier today when it happened, I saw it live, I was thinking, Damn. I really was stupid. Anybody else feel that way? Damn, I really was. Do you ever feel that like, man, I can't believe I believed in Santa Claus. What was I thinking about? Or somebody cheated on you like 500 times. Like, I can't believe they cheated on me. Why did I not see that they was a cheater? Yep. All those phone calls they were taking in the middle of the night. Why didn't I put it together? That's how I feel about Obama now that I look at him. Man, it's like his mouth is moving, but he ain't saying nothing. And that used to be good enough for me. It used to be good enough. I used to be, yeah, man. Yeah. Look at him speaking truth to power. I want to, man, God, man, this brother's so eloquent. He eloquented. He's so articulated. Now I watch him, I just want to throw something at the screen. Kick my own ass for voting for him. You know what I'm saying? Barack Obama talked for this. Now look, you were mad and you only had to watch a couple minutes. The entire speech was like 12 minutes of fluff. Fluff. Joe Biden. Listen, hey, Joe Biden's a great. Hey, Michelle. Oh, first of all, Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Yeah, Joe's a special kind of creature. We got Joe Biden. He's a great guy. When you listen to Joe, you're listening to parents who've lost their kids. Well, in the wars we started, the wars we started. That's why Joe knows kids who've been lost, because he sent a lot of them to war for no reason except oil money. And when you're looking at someone lost their job, Joe knows that too, because Joe sent a lot of those jobs overseas. Yep. And when you're talking about people being incarcerated, well, Joe knows that too, because he wrote the legislation that got a lot of them incarcerated. Best thing I ever did was get Joe so that he could get the racists to vote for me. Because one racist knows another racist, and those racists can get together and play racist games. They'll be like, hey, this nigger can't be that bad. This racist, who's a racist like I'm a racist, is his VP. So I'll go ahead and vote for him. Yeah, they must know I'm not a radical because I got this racist with me. They can trust me. They know I won't do anything for black people because, well, I got Joe Biden. Wouldn't have worked with someone who wasn't racist. Had a history of Confederacy, segregationists in their past. As I look across here at my teleprompter, I love my teleprompter, man. I tell you, Michelle, I love you, baby, but I love this teleprompter more. This teleprompter has made my career. Yep. Ever since I was out there on the streets of Chicago, I was reading teleprompters. Man, I was out there working with Acorn, trying to get the housing thing straight. I was reading from the teleprompter and touching myself, looking at the teleprompter. I love teleprompters, man. Yeah. Sasha and Malia, you don't know what it is, how great it is to have a teleprompter. I sleep with my teleprompter. People think I'm eloquent. I'm just a good reader and a good bullshit artist. Barack Obama endorsed Joe Biden. Look, now here's the thing, guys. We already knew he was going to do that. He already endorsed him. Now, this was just the words coming out of his mouth, okay? These are just the words. He'd already done it through action, okay? Back when he put out the messaging that he was going to stop Bernie and that everybody should do everything they need to do to stop Bernie. Remember those articles? You don't remember them? Yeah, those articles. Here goes a political article talking about it.
Honesty and humility,
Shut up, Barack.
empathy and grace.
And lying through our
That
ass.
kind of-
Lying through my ass all the time. Just lying. Lie like a rug. I lie like baby hair over your wife's eye. Here we go. Some of Obama's aides now concede. So they wouldn't admit it until now. Now that Bernie's out and it endorses Joe Biden, now they can be honest. Look, some of Obama's aides now concede that behind the scenes, Obama played a role in nudging things in Biden's direction. Nudging. More like a cattle prod, shocking their ass. Get over there. Get over there. At the crucial moment when the Biden team was organizing former candidates to coalesce around Biden. All right? All right. So we need to just accept it and know it. Accept and know that this whole facade that all of a sudden now this is an endorsement is garbage. And so are the people that are peddling it and presenting it, the narrative that all of a sudden now is when Obama's weighing in. He's already weighed in. This was just a perfunctory demonstration, right? This is just the theatrical portion of it. This has already been done. This was already done. You know, so Obama's finger on the scale happened long ago. Even in this very video, he says, hey, I love Bernie. Bernie's a great guy. He's a good guy, you know. He's a good guy when he listens. Problem is he don't listen too well, you know. We don't agree on it. You know, it's a lot of things we don't agree on, you know. We don't see eye to eye, but we do believe in moving forward and change. And speaking of moving forward, I've made some changes. Changed from Bernie to Biden. That's it. That's the change. I hope you didn't think Bernie was going to win. Yeah, I'm still down with hope and change, but I hope you didn't think that Bernie was going to win, because I'm not going to let that happen, man. The bottom line is that Bernie was never on the team. And if there is a criticism you would like to level, besides, so let's say you're one of these people that all of a sudden woke up and realized the Democratic Party is corrupt. The Democratic Party seldom does what's needed for the people, always will do first what's needed for its own existence, maintain the status quo, keeping the donors happy, and keeping the money coming in. Let's say you didn't realize that until now. And maybe you believed that Bernie by himself would conquer this all by himself, and we could just, be on YouTube, and it would just happen. And now you're disappointed. Well, all I'm asking you to do is spread around some of your disappointment. Don't put it all on Bernie. Save some for Obama. Yeah, just at least save some for the president, the former president, the standard bearer of the Democratic Party. The guy that can snap his fingers and have Buttigieg fall on the sword. The guy that can blink and make Amy Klobuchar drop out of a race that she was about to win her state, and she still dropped out. You get what I'm saying? The type of guy that could knock some dirt off his shoulder and make Beto O'Rourke appear out of thin air. Guy had been gone 4 months, and all of a sudden, look at this. Hey, Sasha, look. Just made Goofy guy appear. Look at him. Arms flapping. So spread some of it around. My vitriolic, loud, pissed off, supremely angry, entitled friends. Save a little of it for Obama. Give some credit where it's due. All of it wasn't because Bernie called Biden a friend. All of it wasn't because of that. And I'm not saying he should have called Biden a friend ever. I hated it. I even told him when I was on the Bernie's podcast with Brianna Greyjoy. Or was it Joy Gray? With Brianna. I told her I didn't like when he did that. I don't like when Bernie called Biden friend. But let's be realistic and admit, my good friends, that the likelihood that that is what did it in, that's probably a lot less likely that Bernie calling Biden friend made Jim Clyburn fall in line than it was Obama. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's kind of calibrate a little bit. I know you like to dump on. I know it gets views up. I get it. There's money to be made. It's a hot topic. No one wants to hear Obama's not going to screw you a lot of views. But let's between you and I, let's keep it real a little bit. And let's admit, the most powerful Democrat in the world, Barack Obama, making phone calls in the middle of the night, telling people, hey, I'm going to need you to go ahead and do a favor for me. That's me. B.O. I need you to go ahead and drop out. That guy, he deserves at least as much blame as you giving Bernie with his group of outsiders. Breonna Joy from The Intercept. Oh, my God, I'm sure she was scaring the hell out of the establishment. Oh, my God, Senator Nina Turner. Oh, no, all these turncoats. You know? Now, these are good people that you're dumping on, that you were praising when they were winning. And then the establishment woke up and said, hold on a second. We went through Pete. We went through Elizabeth Warren. And look, they got Elizabeth Warren to stay home. All right. So anyway, I'm not saying, like some people are saying, Tim, I don't like that you're making Bernie above criticism. I'm not making him above criticism. I'm just saying, let's stop giving him the only criticism. That's all. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Because that's only fair. Right? It was not me, us. When it was doing well, it was like, not me, us. But now that things fell apart, it's like, just Bernie. It's not the crooked system anymore? No. Not the military-industrial complex? No. It's not the corrupt election system? No. Just Bernie. Oh, okay. Got it. So now Bernie did something that he shouldn't have done. He gave an interview to the Associated Press, guys. Well, actually, hold on a second. I think I got one more thing on this. One more thing. Let me see. Let's see what we got here. Okay, no, we could, yeah. Okay, so here, yeah, it is time for that. My bad. Here we go. This is good. We'll do this before we go to phone calls, guys. This won't be that long, but this is really important because people are really pissed off. One of the things Bernie did recently, and look, and it pisses me off because it's not an audio, it's not a video, it's written, okay? And we know people can take things out of context. People can say, like the way that you take out a quote and you just put it there and this looks really bad, right? But, okay. Bernie did something. He gave an interview to the Associated Press. And let's see if I have it. I think I do have it. Here we go. AP interviews Sanders, says opposing Biden is irresponsible. That's the title of the article. I got a feeling that was not the title that Bernie thought the article would be. Yeah, it's kind of like this is the thing we want you to focus on in the article. That Bernie said opposing Biden is irresponsible. I question the title, and I question people who read this title and didn't think, hey, that's a weird title. Is he talking about himself or is he talking about his supporters there? Sanders says opposing Biden is irresponsible. Opposing him. It sounds like opposing would be something that a candidate would do to another candidate, doesn't it? I'm just saying, like, if you're a voter, you can't oppose someone. You cannot vote for them, but can you really oppose them? You're not on the playing field. It just seemed a little weird that people were framing this article as Bernie saying that Bernie supporters shouldn't oppose Biden. Oppose him. You know, Buster Douglas opposed Tyson. The people in the ring, the people in the stadium didn't oppose him. They either, you know, rooted for him or they didn't. Okay, so anyway, here we go. Let's see if we can get some of this article here. Bernie Sanders said Tuesday that it would be irresponsible for his loyalists not to support Joe Biden. Irresponsible not to support him. Warning that progressives who sit on their hands in the months ahead would simply enable President Donald Trump's reelection. Unless there be any question, say what? Unless there be any question, the 78-year-old Vermont senator confirmed that that's a weird, like, dodgy sentence. I don't get it. Unless there be any question, the 78-year-old Vermont senator confirmed that it's probably a very fair assumption. What the hell? This article got y'all angry? I'm angry just trying to read the shit. It's probably a very fair assumption that he would not run for president again, he added with a laugh. One can't predict the future. Okay. We made it through that one. Second, Sanders, who suspended his presidential bid last week, spoke at length about his decision to endorse Biden, his political future, and the urgent need to unify the Democratic Party during an interview with the AP. He railed against the Republican president, but also offered pointed criticism at his own supporters who have so far resisted his vow to do whatever it takes to help Biden win the presidency. Okay. Let's see if we can make this a little better. He seemed to distance himself from his campaign's former National Press Secretary, Brianna Joy Gray, when asked about her recent statement on social media refusing to endorse Biden. A great statement, by the way. She's my former press secretary, not on the payroll, Sanders noted. A spokesman later confirmed that all campaign staffers were no longer on the payroll. Sanders said his supporters have a simple choice now that Biden has emerged as the presumptive nominee. Do we be as active as we can in electing Joe Biden and doing everything we can to move Joe and his campaign in a more progressive direction? Or do we choose to sit it out and allow the most dangerous president in modern American history to get reelected? He continued, I believe that it's irresponsible for anybody to say, well, I disagree with Joe Biden, and therefore I'm not going to be involved. I thought you said it would be irresponsible to oppose him. See what I'm saying? This is the problem I have, folks. This is part of the problem, right? I got a lot of problems. Ask my detractors. But this is the problem I have. In this article, they say Sanders says opposing Biden is irresponsible. But here he says if people sat on their hands, it would be irresponsible. I'm not sure if I disagree with that point. We shouldn't sit on our hands. I'm not saying we should vote for Joe Biden, but we shouldn't sit on our hands either, Johnson. Like, we should get involved. Maybe we should get involved. Some people want to get involved with a third party. Some people want to get involved with local elections. Some people want to get involved with varying degrees of trying to push Joe Biden to the left. Some people want to get involved with the Trump administration. I don't know. I'm not one of them. But being involved is important. And if you are an active person, involved in campaigning, maybe now would be a good time to still be involved. I guess you can make that argument but not the argument. If he's making the argument only that you should only get involved in helping Biden, I don't know about that. And I understand why people would be upset with it. But the framing of the article title is not the same as what was quoted. And why are you doing so much talking, AP? Won't you just put up what he wrote? or what he said? Why don't you just say, and then he said, and let him talk, instead of you tell us what he said and what he meant? Won't we just be able to see what he said and how he said it? Okay, let's go back to this. Sanders said, I believe it's irresponsible for anybody to say, well, I disagree with Joe Biden, and therefore I'm not going to be involved. Well, okay. And you know, some people would say that. Isn't that what people say when they say don't sit out an election? People say they're not going to vote. Don't people say that all the time? Like, if you don't vote, that's irresponsible. People say that. They say that in my community anyway. Maybe they don't say it in yours, Johnson. But when people say they're not going to vote, people say that's irresponsible. People died for you to give you the right to vote. Like, this is the same rhetoric we've been hearing for a long time. It's really bad now because people are mad because they don't like Biden. And it's focused on supporters. So I get it. Sanders said he would not actively campaign or spend money on advertising in the primary contest that is still on the calendar in the coming months, but he still encouraged Democrats in those states to vote for him, hoping to amass as many delegates as possible for leverage to shape the party platform in the direction of Biden's campaign. Well, hold on, let me get this right, guys. So Bernie Sanders, the guy who endorsed Biden, still wants you to vote for him. He also vowed to continue fighting for progressive priorities, such as his signature Medicare for All as a senator, even though Biden has refused to embrace the government-backed single-payer health care system. Okay, guys, see now, this is why I had a problem with the tweet that Crystal Ball sent out. Okay? Crystal Ball sent out a tweet totally ignoring that Bernie said we should keep voting for him, and that he's going to still fight for Medicare for all, and just made it about how Bernie's dogging out his supporters and calling them irresponsible. Well, none of them have voted yet, so they can't be considered irresponsible yet. But if he says, come election time, if you don't get involved, that's irresponsible. We got too much on the line. And if he's planning on trying to push Joe Biden to the left on these issues that he's talking about, wouldn't he need your help? So, like, why come this article was not titled, Bernie Sanders says, keep voting for him? Why isn't the article titled, Bernie Sanders wants you to keep voting for him even though he's out? Even though his campaign has been suspended, okay? Not out, Tim, suspended. Why isn't the article titled that? You know why it's not titled that. Because that's not going to get clicks and views. That's not going to have people sending out tweets saying how horrible Bernie is. Come on, guys, we've been here before. We know what's up. We've been paying attention. Why isn't the article titled, Sanders says vote for him? He vows to continue fighting for progressive priorities. I find that kind of newsworthy. As many, upset, frustrated people that I've known who've written me over the last couple of days, why wasn't that considered newsworthy to the AP? See how the narratives matter? They do matter, Johnson. Check out the third page. If people want to vote for me, hold on a second. Let me get this is important. Here we go. Let me make this as big as possible, guys. You got to read this. If people want to vote for me, we'd appreciate it. Wow, he even keeps talking about voting, don't he? If people want to vote for me, we'd appreciate it. That's that's pretty good. He says, now this is AP talking now. Here we go. This is not him. This is them framing it for us, telling us what to think about, what's important about what he said. Sanders said at a roughly 20 primary contests that remain where his name will appear on the ballot. He later added, I think you're going to see a significant movement on the part of the Biden campaign into a more progressive direction on a whole lot of issues. Okay. And then it goes on to say Sanders did not outline any specific plans to begin helping Biden in earnest, though he noted he held dozens of rallies for former Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton. And he goes to even talk about why he got out of the race. He says in 2016, Sanders said, in 2016, Sanders said he had a mathematical path to the nomination all the way until the California primary, which was held on the last day of voting in June. That simply wasn't the case this year. What would be the sense of staying in, of spending a whole lot of money, of attacking the vice president, giving fodder for Trump? What's the sense of doing that when you can't win? Okay. Okay, Johnson. Okay. Now, guys, I don't know. I don't know where you come up on this, but look, I understand why people would be upset if you only read the tweet that other people made. And I can kind of see why you would be upset if you read just one of the statements. But if you put it kind of all together, is it really what he said really that bad? It would be irresponsible to not be involved. I get that. He said he's going to try to push Biden to the left on a number of issues. People weren't giving him credit for that. People kept saying that he's not getting anything. Then he sure sounds here like he's really working on that. People keep saying he got nothing for it. He got nothing for it. Well, maybe they didn't announce it yet. Sort of like with Obama. He just came out with his endorsement of Biden. We all knew he already had supported Biden. He was already working behind the scenes to support Biden. But since it hurts Bernie, you're very quick to accept that he got nothing for it and he did it for nothing. He wasn't trying to win. He's full of it. He's scared. He's a coward. He never tried to run. This is all a joke. Amazing, man. Amazing. Now, I don't fault everybody who got upset seeing that tweet, though I saw a lot of you. But I do fault people I know who read that whole article. If you read this entire article and all you got from it was Bernie doesn't like his supporters and doesn't support them, hell, I think he said worse things in 2016 when he was talking about you should be careful not to be mean to Hillary supporters. I hated that. But this is not as bad to me. To me. I don't like that tone police crap. That's what I don't like that. You need to be nicer. I hate that. I hate that stuff. But what I'm seeing, guys, is like a knee-jerk reaction to always throw Bernie under the bus. And I'm telling you guys, some of these people are connected to the Republican Party. And some of these people are bad actors, and we need to call it out. So, look, I'm sorry if you don't want to hear it. I'm just telling you the truth. You ain't got to accept it. You ain't got to like it. But I got to tell it to you. I have to let you know. Some of these people are not acting in good faith. We're about to go to phone calls, but I got one last thing for you. I am no Joe. I'm hashtag no Joe. I was also hashtag never Hillary. Nothing's changed here. But what I won't be is I hate Bernie or Bernie's fault. I won't be hashtag Bernie's fault. Bernie did it. I won't be hashtag blame Bernie. I won't be hashtag Bernie is a coward. I won't do that because to me, if it wasn't for Bernie pushing this country to the left, unlike some people, I recognize that just because he may not have said everything I wanted him to say at every juncture, he's the only reason why we're having these conversations about minimum wage increases, Medicare for all increases. He's the only reason why it's on the front of everyone's mind, why it's out in the consciousness of the country. I'm not saying he originated all these ideas. I'm not saying other people didn't do their part. But what I'm saying is he's been the guy. I saw him in debates by himself taking fire from 5 people on these issues. And now, just because he had a live stream with Joe Biden and he didn't bring it up, now all of a sudden these people are throwing Bernie under the bus saying he's not fighting for the thing that he's been fighting for. He just said right there in the Associated Press article, he's still fighting for Medicare for all. I don't feel like it's fair to just blame one person. But back to the no Biden, no Joe. Back to no Joe, guys. I understand people don't want to vote for Joe Biden. I understand it. I don't want to vote for him either. I want to fight for the issues that matter, okay? The issues I care about that I always cared about. It's always been about policies for me. Hopefully you feel the same way. I wish that Bernie went to the convention. I have to keep saying that because you may be new, you may not know. I wanted Bernie to go all the way to Milwaukee. I was making plans to go to the convention. I wanted Bernie to go to the convention and fight for it. But the fact that he didn't do that, or it doesn't seem like the fact that he suspended his campaign, though I'm disappointed, I'm not going to say it was for nothing. Because it was for something. It was for all those issues that we've been talking about that we wouldn't have been talking about if it weren't for Bernie. You really think if Bernie didn't run, that Elizabeth Warren would have carried the torch for you? Half of them half the people that said they supported Medicare for all backed off of it as soon as someone sneezed. So who was going to talk about it? Who was going to be on that stage, that national stage, all of those nights and talk about Medicare for all? Bernie's the only one who stayed with it. Why is no one calling that out? Why is that not an issue? And why don't you see that as a plus? Look, if you're one of those people like me who feel like you need to teach the Democratic Party a lesson, I totally get that. I'm with you on it. But I don't think bashing Bernie is how we get to it. I think that there's all types of people that played a part in the mess that we're in, and I don't think one person gonna fix it, and I know damn well one person didn't get us into it, okay? So that's where I stand on it. If you cannot vote for Joe Biden, cool. You got a home, because I ain't voting for him either. But unlike some people, I won't be shitting on Bernie as a reminder that I'm not gonna vote for him. I can disagree with Bernie. I have my own mind, my own constitution. I make up my own decisions. That doesn't mean he's a sellout or a turncoat. Is it possible that Bernie Sanders actually believes Trump is the worst person to be president? Is it possible that maybe sincerely he believes Joe Biden would be better for the country? You know, there are a lot of people who think he would be. Okay? I'm not so certain of it, but there are other people who are very certain of it. They think that 4 more years of Trump would be horrible for our environment, for our economy, hell, for our psyches. Now, I know there's a lot of people watching this show who don't feel that way. They feel like, oh, everything's overblown with Trump. Well, I got a bunch of social programs that Trump cut, and the people that used to receive those programs who needed them to live, they don't agree with you, Johnson. Obviously, you're not one of those people. But those people who were cut, there's an issue. But if you don't want to vote for Joe Biden, I get that totally. That's why I'm the one who's had no Joe buttons and no Joe shirts in my store since September of last year. While these people are Johnny-come-latelys talking about Joe Biden in the last 15 minutes. And now they want to act like they're the ones leading the charge against Joe Biden. I was on the front lines calling out Joe Biden back then. September 2019 is when I made this design in the No Joe t-shirt that we put in my store that we've been relishing, that we've been sharing. Right along next to my No Cop Mala. And Forget Pete shirt. Okay? I was the one doing that. Right? And my Amy Klobuchar is a cop. All right? So, now for all my people out there who do want a better country and they don't love Trump, but they like, hell no for Joe, I want to play something for them to vindicate you a little bit because you need a pick-me-up.
If you want to pull the party, the major party, that is closest to the way you're thinking, to what you're thinking. You must show them that you're capable of not voting for them.
Because the way the Democratic Party is run now for quite a number of presidential cycles is they pick a nominee in a kind of half-assed process that doesn't really represent much of anybody, and then they tell everybody to just shut up. Don't bring up anything that will complicate life for your nominee. You know he's not for you on this. Why badger him? He's not going to be for you for reasons that you don't understand but are good reasons. Shut up. Turn off your brains.
If you don't show them you're capable of not voting for them, they don't have to listen to you. I promise you that. I worked within the Democratic Party. I didn't listen or have to listen to anything on the left while I was working in the Democratic Party because the left had nowhere to go.
There it is, Johnson. And in case you didn't know, they cut it off there. His last words were, the left had nowhere to go. Well, we might have to change that, right, Johnson? All right, guys, let's get it going. We're live, we're hot, we're ready to go to phone calls. Make sure the mic's cut up on my phone callers. I'm going to first call in the queue. It's a 661 number. Hey, 661, you're live on TB Tuesdays. What's your name? What's your comment? Hey. 661.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, sir. You're live.
Oh, okay. This is Brother Mike. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, Mike, how you doing, brother?
Oh, okay. Regarding this situation, everything to the system in United States system is a game and is a joke, and therefore two-party system will never work for United States anymore. We need multiple party systems in order to have success. Otherwise, this kind of event is all a stage event, and also, Joe Biden will elect Michelle Obama, and guess who's going to be in the White House? Obama. And Obama will make all decisions and give it to the Michelle. Michelle will give it to President Joe Biden. So basically, Joe Biden is a tool to get into the White House. But I don't mind Obama to be in the White House. What do you think?
Where did you get this theory from?
Because, Joe Biden said there is going to be a woman to be elected as a vice president. And, the top choice, since, President Obama endorsed him today, so eventually it will be a very good idea for him to choose Michelle Obama as the vice president. And when it happens, then basically we see another good 4 years of good Obama and Michelle Obama and Biden together. What do you think of that?
Well, look, brother, thank you for calling, Mike, man. And I'm gonna keep it moving, man. Oh, wow. I've heard a couple people float this idea. I've never heard Michelle make any aspirations for running for government office. I've heard a couple people I heard a couple people make that claim that it would be her. I'm not so certain, man. I know she's popular, That would be like really tough for us, for black progressives, because it's already hard enough telling people that Obama wasn't MLK. Now we'd have to convince them that Michelle Obama isn't Harriet Tubman. That's a hard sell, man. I got people crying their eyes out now, spitting mad, that I'm not kissing Obama's ass, even though he bailed out the banks and didn't bail us out, even though he could have signed an executive order and legalized cannabis on the federal level and put a big dent in the mass incarceration. He didn't need help. He didn't need Congress. He could have used his pen, and he didn't do it, even though he took us from 2 wars to 7. But we can't talk about that. We can't talk about that because he black. And if I talk about that, I'm a sellout. But if Clinton who did it, can I talk about it? Can I talk about what Trump's doing? That's cool, though. So that's why, I hate it. And you got me started, man. You got me started. But I'm going to go to the next call, Mike. Thank you for calling, brother. 111, you're live on TB Tuesdays. What's your name? What's your comment?
Tim?
Hey.
I'm talking to Tim?
Yeah, that's you. Yes.
Hi, Tim. I got a tale to tell you. Now, after the loss in 2016, I took my kids to buy some comic books. But I didn't take them just any place. I don't know if you know this, or if a lot of folks know this. The former campaign head or campaign manager for Bernie in 2016, and still with his campaign right now, is Jeff Weaver. Jeff owns a comic book store in Virginia. You can just walk right in, and you might see Jeff Weaver. Now, he and I talked, and, I was a big fan of his. I loved seeing him and Chris Matthews go back and forward on Hardball, and he told me some fun stories if you want to hear that later. But be that as it may, I asked him, why didn't Bernie go after Hillary on this and this and that? And why didn't he do that? And, why was he still light on such and such? And he surprised me. He said, you know what? I will tell you, Bernie heard a lot of those concerns. And he's put some thought into it. And I was like, well, that's good. And then, this 2020 rolls around. I'm seeing a lot of the same things again, but it seemed worse this time. And I was about to get like a lot of these folks are right now. But let me tell you, I also watched what's been happening with progressives, over these past 4 years. And it seemed like folks divided up between the ones who's always Trump, 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 and the other ones who's always the Democrats are the ones who let him in, and we need to talk about them and what's wrong with them. And it seems like the ones that wanted to talk just about Trump also got a lot of other things wrong, whether it was about, supporting Hillary or Russiagate or impeachment or Elizabeth Warren. I mean, they all went wrong. There's always that one crew that went down the wrong road. And there's some of the biggest names in progressivism. And I think, and when you listen, and even Cenk even talked about this a little bit, got scared with, are we going to let Trump get in again? And I think the same thing happened with Bernie. I think he got so scared, the idea from listening to Tom Perez and listening to the corporate media, and that, he was going to be responsible, that he thought he could have it both ways this time. He could take it light and not talk about Joe going senile and 30 other damn things about the man, and he could just still win if he just kept it close to the chest. And so I don't think it's about how, he didn't want to win. It was just that he thought he could have it both ways. And I'm not saying it's the only reason, but I think it's a little bit more of a middle ground between, he didn't want to win and it's all, the establishment and Barack Obama. You feel me?
I do feel you. And that's one of the more even-handed summations of what happened that I'm used to hearing, brother. I want to appreciate you for calling up, man, and laying that down. And I might want to check out that comic book store, man. I was a kid, I collected comic books. Kind of got out of it, but yeah, now that's more reasonable than just these people going coward, liar, cheater, Scumbag Bernie. I'm like, that. I thought it was progressive fighter, Medicare for all policy guy you love. I think some people have different stuff in them DNA. You know, and they have different ways of doing politics. I actually saw someone tweet out that Bernie Sanders not going negative or what was it? What's it when you put out an ad that's a bashing ad where you bash the other candidate? What's the name of those ads, guys? Anybody know the name of an ad when it's a negative ad? You know what I mean? Anybody on YouTube know what I'm talking about? What's it called when you put out a negative ad? Attack ad. That's it. Thank you, Ben Harper. There's actually someone who said that the fact Bernie didn't use any attack ads on Joe Biden or anybody else until Super Tuesday was malpractice. And that goes to show you you're not a Bernie supporter. Nor do you understand Bernie's campaign because Bernie's not a attack ad person. Now, I've interviewed Nina Turner, so have these people. How could you not know that Bernie's not going to do attack ads? And how could you use that against him like you know that's not what he does? You already know he's not an attack ad person if you know his campaign. So either you don't know the DNA of Bernie Sanders or you do, and it sounds like you don't. Now, there's some candidates who will run attack ads, wouldn't give a crap. And there's some campaigns that don't do that type of stuff. And you know Bernie's not the type of person that would do that. So how could you hold that against him? Look, if you're looking for somebody to do that, then you got the wrong candidate. It's not about they don't want to win. They don't want to win your way. They don't want to. Some people are different that way. I remember I got in a fight when I was like 12. And the guy was just a better fighter. He was 14, so he should be, right? He was clocking me. And my cousin threw me a big-ass rock. He said, hit him with this rock. And I looked at the rock. It was a big-ass rock. And I will never forget it. I'll never forget this, man. I was fighting this guy named Maxie. Maxie, if you out there, you mofo. You shouldn't be beating up little kids, Maxie. So anyway, the guy, Maxie, was standing there. He had his, and I'm there and I got the rock in my hand. And my cousin's like, hit his ass with that rock. And I'm like, nah, man, he's beating me with his hands. I want to beat him with my hands. Now, I lost that fight. And looking back, maybe I should have hit him with the rock, but what if I would have hit him with the rock and killed him? But I don't know. But the point is, that's who I was. Now, things are different. I was 12. I'm a lot older than 12 now. And if somebody run up on me, I'm liable to hit you with the rock, a stick, a bullet, or something, a car, another person, anything to stop your ass if you try to hurt me or somebody I love. But back when I was 12, I wasn't operating under that mindset. It's not who I was. I wasn't a coward. I stood in there and fought, but I wanted to win the right way. And that may be foolish to you, but it was who I am, who I was. Like I said, things have changed, Johnson. All right, we'll go next call. 470, you're live on TB Tuesdays. What's your name? What's your comment?
Tim Black, what's going on, man?
Dave, what's up, brother?
It's just insane, man. Look, I wanted to call you back. I don't want to be long because I want everybody to have a chance to talk. We always talk, but there's a movie called The Valkyrie, Tim, and it's basically about a coup by the elites of Germany and some of the military power structure. They tried to assassinate Hitler and overthrow the government and get rid of him, and they failed. And they failed because they were elitists who were cowards, and during the moment, they all were worried about themselves. And basically, they failed, and Hitler killed all of them because they were the same idiots and cowards that let him come to power in the first place. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
And there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that Obama and Hitler and Obama and Biden and Clinton are not the best choice to remove Trump. They lost the whole government, 1,000 seats. They are the idiots that let this happen. They had control of the entire government, the House, the Senate, the presidency, and lost everything. While we felt good hearing Obama speak, but under the surface, we lost everything because of them. And I really, look, the only reason that I could ever see trying to help these morons defeat Trump is if Trump, the whole premise of their argument to get behind Biden is if Trump is a Hitler-level threat. And the only people who seem to think that are Democrats who get their news from CNN and MSNBC, who I take as serious as right-wing nut jobs who get their information from One American News Network and Fox News. So maybe Trump in a second term with all these judges, he's laying the groundwork to try some radical shit where he kills governors and cancels democracy and something insane. And if that's the case, Bernie's right. But I don't know that Bernie's right because he's the only person outside of the Democrat Party who seems to think Trump is that bad. And he's been around a while. But it is insane people think Biden is the right person. There is no doubt. You know, we got a saying that around here, you cannot make chicken salad out of chicken shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Trump is hard. Trump is bad, but Biden is an idiot. In the first debate, he ain't going to hang with Trump. Trump will insult him. He will talk over Biden. Biden will look incompetent compared to Trump. Who is incompetent? So is Trump as bad as Bernie thinks he is? That's the core issue here. That's the decision. If he is, then Bernie's got a point. If he's just another rich person, idiot, elitist, entitled fool, like all the other presidents, then we're better off making the Democrats pay again. So that's it. I don't know how bad Trump is, but I just don't know. There's no way to know the future. So that's my comment. How bad is Trump? What do you think, man? Is Bernie right? What do y'all think? Is Trump that bad, or what's up, man? I appreciate you, Tim.
Wow, man. Thank you, David. That is the question, isn't it, man? How bad is Trump? Is he the devil incarnate? Look, you reminded me of this tweet, Dave. Check this out. I said, Bernie's pushing his supporters to support Biden. Bernie believes Trump is a threat to the environment, World War III, the health crisis, and not to mention giving tax breaks to his friends. All of that may be true. The problem is, I'm not convinced Biden doesn't pose the same threat. Now, this tweet has 1,000 likes and 108 retweets. When I posted it, last time I checked, I got a feeling it's doing pretty well right now because I think that encapsulates not only what David's saying, but what a lot of people are thinking. Now it's at 2,000. It's over 2,000 likes and over 400, almost 500 retweets right now. So we're on to something, Johnson. That's the question. How dangerous is Trump? I'm sure people will weigh in on it. 907, you're live. TB Tuesdays, what's your name? What's your comment?
Hi, honey, it's me.
Hey, Laura.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Laura, we can hear you. What's on your mind?
Well, I want to kind of help us all out for a minute to take a deep breath. We live in a society where we have instant gratification, and it's red team versus blue team, and then there's people who just don't care. When I was a young woman in the 60s, we were fighting against the Vietnam War. And instead of your generation having Black Lives Matter, we had the Black Panthers. We also fought for women's rights, civil rights, and voting rights. Now, this is going on almost 60 years. In that 60-year time span, we've made step-by-step movements to improve our nation. We had won the women's right for Roe v. versus Wade. We had Ralph Nader. We had Bernie. We had us. The me, hashtag me, not us. Now, this is not in a computer age. It was very, very grassroots, organic. But we helped end the Vietnam War. We forced out Nixon because we had an adversarial media. What I'm trying to say is history takes time, and we can't sit here and be defeatist. If you all didn't, most of all of you didn't even know about Bernie until 2014 or 15, and you became aware of what's happening because of the machinations of the Democratic Party losing everything when they had all the power. These things can become very deflating, but please do not get distracted. This is not a choice between Biden and Trump. This is a choice between you and what you are going to do in your personal life to forward the movement. It was never about Bernie. It was about the policies. Now, here in Alaska, when we caucused and won for Bernie in 16, and then the shit happened with them, and they took our, they took you know what they did. At any rate, this year, because of 4 years of working hard, we ended up getting ranked choice voting instead of the caucusing because of COVID-19. We got ranked choice voting in, and we picked our top 5, and it went through. If you didn't get, 15%, you got knocked out, etc. Alaskans voted, and only 19,000 of us voted because we're under quarantine, etc. And we got downloadable ballots. And you printed it off, and then you sent it in. Bernie lost by about 4 points, 5 points. Biden got 9 delegates. Bernie got 8 delegates. For all those states that have not voted yet, please vote for Bernie. And it's not for him to win, obviously. It's for the leverage so that when we do, as a collective, have that ability to leverage for the policies we need, we'll have to demand this. You have to start in your own communities and your own state. The federal government has already shown its real face under COVID-19, saying, look, we're not helping you states. You states go out and find your own stuff, and you deal with your own thing your own way. And remember, he said, none of this is my fault. But then yesterday he came out very authoritarian and said, I am basically a king, The important thing here is to remember, now take all of your energy, pull it back from the bullshit distractions on Twitter and wherever. Focus that energy into positive movements. And I would suggest that everybody look into the young movement that is really getting stronger and stronger, and that is the Democratic Socialists of America. These are young people who are well organized. And if we look towards the youth and their ability to organize, find a group that organizes best to your principles and support them. But within your community, start supporting and running for office, whatever you need to do to support your city first, and then your county, and then your state. What ended up happening to really galvanize this thought process to try and express it to you all is something happened here just on the 7th. When Trump said that the governors had to go out and try and buy their own supplies, PPEs and tests, and he wasn't going to help. We got together and we ended up through it's called Peace Health, and it's a group that helps our hospitals.
Okay.
We don't have very many. At any rate, what they did was we bought our own PPEs, but FEMA came in and literally stole our supplies, our test kits, and our PPEs. Take it home to your states, protect your states, grow your state stuff. It's time. This isn't going to happen overnight.
Okay.
We can all go say we want pitchforks and we want to go out and burn this place down. Well, what is that going to do to anybody besides make a mess? We went through the riots of Detroit. We went through the Chicago 7. We went through this with the National Guard called out in Detroit and in Philadelphia. We even bombed Philadelphia. So why create that kind of chaos when you can put your energy towards creating positive coalitions within your communities and your states and make your states strong, and then collate with other states who are doing the same thing, and then that's how you create your third party.
Okay, thank you, Laura. I got to leave it there, Laura. I got to let other people get in. I gave you an extra 2, almost 3 minutes, but I got to let other people talk. So, okay, all right. 315, you're live on TB Tuesdays. What's your name? What's your comment?
Dave, can you hear me good?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
Well, for one, Trendy As Dabbers taught me into you, and I am just so ecstatic that I actually got a chance. You are like one of the most awesome screamers that I have ever seen. But to the subject of what we're doing here, me personally, I look at like Trump with what he's doing with how he treats women, and like women that back Trump, to me, seems like a disabled veteran that supports Biden. I mean, Trump and Biden, they want to raise the economy. They want to raise cost of living. They want to raise people's wages. And yet both of them keep saying they signed another $818 billion cut trying to harm the disabled American veteran and everything else. And they keep doing stuff and cutting and cutting and cutting. I used to make $1,600 a month, and I was able to see the dentist in my local town. Now I make $1,000 a month. I have to pay $390 in medical insurance premiums. Blatant neglect of care that I believe turned from neglect of care to attempted manslaughter to attempted murder, because when people like Trump and Biden know that people are having their lives endangered like I am and other people are, and that's where, like, when I hear people say, well, Bernie endorsed Biden, you got to support Biden. And I'm like, this is literally signing things trying to kill disabled American veterans and American people in general that are on Social Security. Senior citizens that have worked their whole lives are getting less and less and less money because of people like Biden and Trump. And they're literally stabbing people in the back like Bernie that are literally trying to help us. I mean, where does this world go from here to a point? Because it's just so hard. I didn't know if, like, in the future, because people like me, I have a brain injury, and I fell 16 years ago, and because of blatant neglect of care, I now have several life-threatening underlying injuries that I almost died under their health care, that cannabis literally single-handedly saved my life. And I'm just so torn right now that all these people can hear Biden, hear he wants to cut Social Security still. Even after the $818 billion cut, he's still talking. He wanted to cut Social Security and cut disability before this pandemic hit. And how, no matter what he does, unless he literally puts someone like Bernie Sanders as VP, but then, like you says, having two 70-some-year-old men as president, vice president, I mean, who would want to vote for that, knowing that the third person in charge would probably end the presidency, that both of them would be gone? And I just mainly wanted to address some people that just keep saying, oh, well, Biden, Biden, Biden. I'm like, I can't support Biden at all, ever. It'll be never Biden because, I mean, Biden even wants to put Beto O'Rourke in charge of things of the government. And what, you think he's going to let people keep their guns? He already talked. He wants to take the National Guard into people's homes and take their guns. At least if martial law happens, at least Trump wants us to keep our guns.
Wow. Okay, brother,
But
I got to keep it going now. I appreciate it. Wow. Beto O'Rourke in his administration? I didn't know that. So he's saying that Biden was handing out treats for people to endorse him. Yeah, I haven't heard that now. That's interesting. Beto O'Rourke. I think Beto was just saying that to try to save his campaign. Nothing was working for him. You know, with the whole gun grab thing, it gave him a little bit of publicity for a while, but 573, you're live. TB Tuesdays, what's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, my name is Brandon, and looking sharp today, Tim.
Thanks, brother.
I got a comment real quick. The best thing about Obama's legacy is that he prevented Hillary Clinton from becoming president. And then I actually have a thought. At this time, the progressives need to accept the fact that the Democratic Party is not your ticket. You need to mass dem exit. But the problem is that we're all separated. One person wants to go Libertarians. One person wants to go to the Green Party. There's got no strong candidate in any of the third parties. The two that can actually, you know, get on the debate stage and get enough delegates and votes for the Green Party and the Libertarian Party. So of those, you have nobody that's strong enough to actually run. Howie Hawkins or Vermin Supreme is just not going to pull the votes to actually get on the debate stage and then do anything. So what you need is someone that's got like 5 million, 6 million viewers on YouTube, somebody that's a famous celebrity, a weapon that you can use against this DNC to get enough support that you can break onto the freaking stage so you can stand up there that's strong enough that they can shout over Trump, they can stand up over Biden and say, look, you're here because you rigged your freaking party. You're here because you couldn't do what your voters wanted. Call out all on election integrity and rigging the Democratic Party. The goal isn't to beat Trump anymore. That's not going to happen with Biden, and that's not going to happen with the Green Party. But what you can do is destroy any credibility the DNC has. And all you got to do is get on stage. So what do you think of that?
That's interesting, man. I tell you, I was kind of blunt. My Green Party people were like, what? But yeah, like someone calling it out. I mean, I'm kind of with you. This is something I was thinking about earlier, bro. Are we wasting time even talking about Joe Biden as if he's got a shot? And I know there's some people that, you know, who are Democrats and they're good. You know, everybody's not the same. We got some Democrats that are not crazy, just like we got some Republicans that aren't crazy, right? And they believe in Joe Biden. They're like, oh, you're only saying that because you don't like Joe Biden. But realistically speaking, I mean, it's really hard to unseat a sitting president. And he's about to cut checks. And I heard he even demanded that his signature be on the checks and his name be printed on the checks. So the last thing people are going to be thinking, one of the last things they're going to be thinking, Trump sent me thousands of dollars, or at least $8,000. You want to get rid of that guy? I'm just saying, people are always saying that this COVID-19 stuff is put out there to hurt Trump. I don't know if it's going to hurt Trump as much as people think it is. Not if he puts out money. So back to my original question, that is it possible that we're wasting time even talking about Joe Biden when in reality he don't got a snowball's chance in hell of beating Donald Trump? What are your thoughts? 219. You're
oh,
live.
my God, it's Reverend Marie. How the heck are you, Tim?
Hey, Rev, how you doing?
So, I'm doing fine. So, with this COVID thing, you know, they've stopped doing what they call unnecessary surgeries. You know, they're not doing surgeries that aren't, you know, really necessary. And that's really a shame because there are so many people with broken ankles from jumping off the Bernie wagon. They're going to need some surgery real quick. People are just doxing him and jumping off, and it is just really, we have never learned that we can't trust the media, We know this from last year. We know this from 2 years ago. We know this, but still, every time they say something right now about Bernie, it's like, I can't believe Bernie did that. And nobody's even, there is no interview from the AP. They just put some word salad together, a la Pete Buttigieg, and people are believing it. Bernie is a master at redirecting questions. They have asked him the rudest questions. It's been so rude to him. They asked him, well, what do you think Warren means about this? Well, what do you think this? And he's like, ask them. And then Bernie talks about himself. But they only print the bullshit. And I don't know why people are just, right now, they're just believing anything they see about Bernie. Am I disappointed in him? Of course. Am I still going to vote for him? Of course. Am I voting for Biden? Hell no, I ain't voting for Biden. I wish Bernie would have done things differently, too. I wish he would have stayed into the end, like he said. I have no idea why he didn't. That being said, I am still, like I said, going to vote, for Bernie. There's just so much going on, and if we don't learn how to trust, we have to trust the media. We have to investigate everything, and independent media is the only way to go. There used to be verifiable newspapers, news outlets, Ed Schultz, we can name all these people, and they're all gone or dead right now. And I've listened to talk radio since I was a little rev for a long time. And one of the things I love about your show is you let people talk. You let us have our voice. You let us talk about whatever. But I got to say, Tim, I am not for all to turn the other cheek. Sorry, I'm not that kind of rubber. But people are the rudest sometimes in your chat and to you. And I say this is what that you hung up on because I was rude to you. So I have personal knowledge of this. Is that what people have said is, I don't know any other show where people call in or in the chat talking about how good another show is. I've never seen anybody on the Tonight Show or Late Night say, you know what, you should really go on this show. And people here are all over telling you what you should do and what you ought to go. And it's like, are you people nuts? Why, do you not see Tim Black in nice whatever, neon sign behind him? But that doesn't mean we can't disagree with you. But to keep saying, well, why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? Anyhow, I did have one more take, but I honestly cannot remember what the heck it was. Tara Reid. Last thing about Tara Reid. For those people who say, well, why didn't she say something back in 93? Why did she wait X amount of years to come back? Do you know what was happening in 93? I know Laura does. In 93 was when you had Jennifer Flowers and everybody accusing the Clintons. And if they weren't paying attention to these women and the state troopers on their bona fide allegations against Bill Clinton, do you really think they were going to pay attention to something a staffer said about Joe Biden? They were way too busy trying to deflect from Clinton, and it took them how many more years to bring him down? So I'm sure she did say something to somebody. I'm sure they, swept it on the rug or whatever like they normally do. But anyhow, thanks for taking my call. I'm not hanging up on me. I just throw that in again. Good night.
Good night, Rev. Look, Rev, I appreciate you so much for saying everything you said. Wow. Now, in my own defense, it was a misunderstanding when I hung up on you that time. And I was pissed off. But you're absolutely right. Nothing's more irritating when people call up and they feel the need to tell me about other shows. like, dude, come on, man. Like, if we want to promote other shows, they could pay a modest fee and promote on this, and then I'll shout them out. Come on, man. Like, this is my thing. I worked hard on this. And you're calling up without paying. I let you talk, and you talking about this person's show and that person's show, promoting this person, that person. You should check out this person. I'm like, damn, dude. Like, I hope they didn't tell you to do that. I know they didn't, because that would be bad business. You wouldn't do that. Yeah, but it's like when I say it, I'm always thinking people are going to get upset. Oh, Tim is mean. He won't let us. We're supposed to be all in this together. Meanwhile, those guys over there making $500,000, I'm barely keeping my lights on. But I'm the corporatist if I don't want you to promote other shows. I'm the smallest of them. But hey, what you going to do? See, and now you end up complaining and everybody gets mad. Don't want to hear that. Don't care about my problems. Answer the phone, Tim Black. Go to the next call, Blackie. All right. 770, you're live on TB Tuesdays. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, this is Pop from Griffin, and I just want to say that I actually agree with you on this point. That I think we all got to be cautious because we all know there's a thin line between love and hate, and I know most of people that are going after Bernie, it's because it's out of love. I know I do. We all genuinely love Bernie, and more than we love Bernie, we love his policies, and Biden isn't giving us those. So I think people need to kind of not go too hard on him, but there can be some criticism everywhere, but it wasn't just the Associated Press, because I kind of read that Bernie was kind of saying what you said, but what really kind of got me was that the difference that I saw once Bernie dropped out with his campaign and his staffers, I felt like there had been a big muzzle put on his campaign. Breonna Joy Gray, she's a complete straight intellect. I love Bree and David Sirota, but when David Sirota put out some facts in the email, he got censured by Bernie. He actually got in trouble with Bernie by putting out facts about Biden, and I think that's one of the things that kind of upset me about Bernie, that he would muzzle people in his campaign, because there's a clear difference in Breonna Joy and David Sirota and other staffers on his campaign with how they're, really making the case against Biden. And for Bernie to also the rape part, my mother was, raped. And so after I saw that Bernie Bernie knows about this Tara Reid story at this point, for you to say, Jake said, he got to do it. I don't believe that. You always have a choice. And I think with coronavirus going on, there's plenty of room to change the game. Just like Obama changed the game behind the scenes, I think Bernie should have flipped the script. But, I think we got to kind of, put things into perspective. And, Bernie shouldn't put, his DC, elite friendships above the movement. And that's it.
This guy still calls up to the show after shitting on me. Boy, I tell you, man. Amazing. Every campaign has rules. One of the criticisms about the Bernie Sanders campaign is that they didn't have, there was different messaging coming out, right? Every campaign has messaging. And you're supposed to get approval for certain stuff. I'm not saying I agree or disagree, but that's every campaign. You think Kamala Harris wanted her people talking about the demise of her campaign before when it was still running? I remember that criticism came out about Kamala Harris's campaign is in disarray. It's burning. That's because there's this organization. That shouldn't be. How's that a criticism? I don't get it, man. Anybody worked in a corporation before and you can't say shit? A campaign's a corporation, is a company. Can you imagine working at, I don't know, being one of the top people at Ford and being able to send out an email that's not according to guidelines to the investors, or to you'd be fired. I mean, I've worked in corporate America. I know how shit works. Maybe some people don't get it that a Bernie Sanders campaign have thousands of employees. And there's got to be a structure. There's got to be a way that people do things. I'm not saying I agree with it. I talked to Brianna myself, and she told me there's certain things she couldn't say. And certain stuff might have to be taken out of this. Or when I came on the podcast, she told me some stuff. But let's not pretend that other campaigns don't have similar rules about what can be said. You don't think that Obama had rules? You don't think that Hillary had rules? I know they did. They had a lot of rules. So this is it's almost as if guys, that people don't fairly judge. It's like that's a criticism you can make of every campaign probably that has ever existed, that there was things you couldn't say. And you couldn't say stuff that the person who was the face of the campaign didn't want you to say. And for that to be a criticism, it kind of proves my point. Hell, you could work at Taco Bell and get fired for sending out a bad communication. Come on, man. All right, I'm going next call. 503. You're live. TB Tuesdays. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hi, Johnson. It's Tammy calling from Oregon.
Hey, Terry, what's up, Johnson? How you doing?
I'm good. I tried to call in on Friday and kind of got disconnected at the end there.
Yeah.
Ran out of time. So I just, I don't know about anybody else, but I know personally I've been taking a lot of abuse on social media, Facebook, Twitter, about refusing to vote for Biden. And, I really think that it's time that Joe Biden step up and take responsibility for all of his rude voters, all his rude supporters. I mean, he's responsible for that, and he really should step up and say something to them because, he should disown them, disavow them, and make sure that they know that he doesn't approve of that. It's just rude. I thought we Bernie bros were the only ones that were supposed to be rude.
Good one.
So, the whole thing with I'm so pissed with Obama. How dare he? Who the hell does he think he is? Inserting himself into this election and pulling strings and making calls and what the hell? What is he doing? Shouldn't he be off in the Bahamas or somewhere sitting on a beach drinking a mimosa or whatever the hell he wants to do? Butt the hell out. And it makes me even more angry because when he was running in 2008, I really wasn't plugged into everything that was going on in politics. I just didn't really pay attention a whole lot. Bits and pieces here and there, mostly corporate media. I know, gross. And so now that I've really started getting engaged, or I've been starting getting engaged since like 2016, I'm so ashamed of myself. I voted for that man 2 times. And I'm so ashamed of myself, and I'm so angry that I was duped. And so many of us were duped. And I got to the point now where I'm like, willful ignorance. You can ask my kids. I have no tolerance for that. This man ran on hope and change. There was no change. And people are even more hopeless now than they were before. What did he really give us? What is Biden really going to give us? Right. Nothing. Oh, he lowered the age of Medicare by 5 years. Oh, gee, thank you. What's going to happen for the people who are 59 and below? How many of them are going to die because they don't have health care? How many of them are going to go bankrupt because they went to the doctor and now they can't pay that bill? And people are constantly saying how, your guys' time will come. It'll come. You just have to wait. Wait until another time. You know how many people said that during the civil rights movement? If they had stopped, people were telling them that same damn thing. If they had stopped and refused to fight and said, okay, you're right, let's just wait, it never would have gotten done. It never would have gotten done. They had to fight and claw and scream and yell and say, no, we're not going to give up. We're not stopping until this is done. And we're going to have to do the same thing. We're not waiting anymore. How long do we have to wait? How many more people have to die? Mm-hmm. How many more people have to go bankrupt? How many more people have to suffer and worry? How many people have to sit at home sick and in pain and suffering because they really need to see a doctor, but at the same time, they're too scared to go to the doctor because they don't want that bill? How is that acceptable? And so Biden is offering us absolutely nothing. And I have a list here. It's a short list. I'll hurry. I know you've got a lot of other people waiting. Some reasons why I will never support Biden. Anita Hill, the crime bill, war reform, bankruptcy bill, the Iraq war, Tara Reid, sniffing creepy pervert, Clarence Thomas, Medicare for All denial, D-grade on Echo Watch, dementia, proven plagiarist, abortion option, and tried to cut Social Security multiple times. And he lies like a damn rug. I can't do it. I can't do it. I won't do it. And I know Bernie came out and he said, it's irresponsible for people not to support Biden. But Bernie also said that he would never tell us who to vote for, and that if he did, not to listen to him. And I'm not going to. I'm not listening to him. I think I don't want to bash Bernie, because I love him and I think he's done a lot for this movement. But at the same time, I think he did what he felt was right. I don't agree with him.
Right. Got to end it there, sister. We're over time.
Okay.
But I've also got to clarify now. We went over this. You may not have saw it earlier. The comment that Bernie did not say it was irresponsible not to support Biden. That's not what he said. That's a lie. That's the title that they gave the article, but that's not what Bernie said, okay? Just for anybody who's just now tuning in, let me make sure people know. Let me show people exactly what he said, because I want to make sure people have the right information on this, okay? I think it's the second one. Here we go. He says, I believe he continued. This was in a conversation with the Associated Press, is where everyone got the article from. It's where the interview took place. If you saw it another source, they're getting it from Associated Press. Earlier caller said he saw it other places. It's the same article. The actual interview was conducted by the Associated Press. Okay. He said here, Do we be as active as we can in electing Joe Biden and do everything we can to move Joe and his campaign in a more progressive direction? Do we be active in electing Joe Biden and do everything we can to move Joe and his campaign into a more progressive direction? Or do we choose to sit it out and allow the most dangerous president in modern American history to get reelected? I believe that it's irresponsible to anybody to say, well, I disagree with Joe Biden, and therefore I'm not going to be involved. They split it to give you the impression that he's just badgering people who are not voting. But none of that said vote. Do we be as active as we can in electing Joe Biden and doing everything we can to move Joe? What about that part? Move Joe and his campaign in a more progressive direction. It's not the best. I don't want you to think I think it's the best statement ever made in the history of man. No, not the best. I'm not a Joe Biden. No Joe. Look, no Joe, guys. No Joe. Okay? But Bernie did not say you were irresponsible if you didn't vote for Joe. He says irresponsible not to do everything you can to move Joe to the left, to move Joe towards the policies that we want him to be engaged on, that we want him to adopt. Wants us to be active. People are already buying into this thing that Bernie is a liar and a creep and a coward. And I wonder where they got that idea from. I wonder where they got the idea that suddenly this guy's just horrible, he's a creep and he's lying, and he's a coward and he doesn't believe in anything. It infuriates me. And Associated Press are scumbags. And it's not the first time that they've done similar shit. So he never said you're irresponsible if you don't vote for Biden. He said get involved, guys. And don't sit on your hands. And don't just say I hate Biden, so I'm not doing anything. No, let's do something. Let's do something. He already told you in 2016, if I tell you to vote for somebody, don't listen to me. He actually said it out his mouth. And people now act like he didn't say it because there ain't no viewership in that shit. There's no viewership in repeating that he actually told us, if he ever tells you who to vote for, ignore it. Now people have ignored that he made that comment. But I'm here, I'm Tim Black, and I'm here to remind you. That's the legacy. And this is no diss to the caller who just called up, but we got to make sure people know because everybody hasn't sat through this entire show. All right. And now why can't some of the others, I want to know how many of our other folks have pushed back on this article. It's going to be important, Johnson. Tomorrow, give them till tomorrow. When we have our show Friday, we have another call-in show. I want some people to have done some research. And I want you to name it. I want to know what are the entities in independent media that actually corrected this Associated Press bad headline article and called it out. Or did they just ride the wave for a couple 100,000 views? I want to know what you find out. I don't know. Anybody can do anything. I have that checked. Let's see what they do. Let's see what happens. Have long memories, Johnson, because the world is full of false narratives. And we got to start calling this crap out. All right. 252? Yeah, we go. 252, you're live. TB Tuesdays, what's your name? What's your comment?
Hey, Tim, this is Kira, toilet paper trucker from Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Yes, how are you, Kira?
I wish I could say I was good, but I'm not good, and I wanted to give a personal story and tie it into what you were talking about with the Obama administration and his subordinates up under him. You know, I was humbled today, and I just had to tell my story on your platform because I shared it about, you know, being upset that, you know, I'm carrying toilet paper across the country. And I was humbled today because today I got a call for some loads. And I'm like, okay. But they were rushing me to go get them. And I'm like, well, what the hell is the rush? So when I got to the facility to pick up my load, I figured out what the rush was. So right now I am carrying dirt 100 miles south of New York City to bury people. And it's really fucking with me that this is what I'm doing. This is what life is, you know? I wish that I could, you know, tell you that, well, tell everybody that everything's going to be okay. But if what has been exposed by COVID-19 is this system is just corrupt. It's corrupt. The government is not doing what they're supposed to be doing by us, the citizens, the taxpayers. We have to take a stand. Bernie Sanders is now out of the fold. Deal with it. It's going to be hard to find another leader with his incredible consistency, but this is what we've been dealt. He woke us up. And it's our job to stay on message and on task, because you can't go back and say, oh, well, they're lying to us. You had one prominent person tell you the truth, the unadulterated truth, and you have to stick to it. You have to stick to it in such a way that is fundamental to our progress. You literally have people this very year in 2020 who are using the message of Dr. Martin Luther King to keep us oppressed. Martin Luther King died in 1968, and here we are in 2020, and nothing has changed. They still using their little tactics to keep us divided. And literally, the earth is fighting against us and killing us off. As an American, that is disgusting to me. I love everybody. You know what I'm saying? I love everybody, and I love that what's happening right now is we're getting to a place where we can love each other. What to tie in the current conversation is the Obama administration. In 2010, they had a supermajority. You know, they put out these rebates for homeowners to upgrade for clean energy with natural gas. But what they didn't tell you is that natural gas is just another form of fossil fuel. If anybody has watched the Gasland documentaries, you know what's happening. They didn't tell us that, you know, an unadulterated amount of methane gas is being released and warming up our planet. Mm-hmm. You know, you got 12 years, they say, 12 years to fix things. And then they started burning the Amazon rainforest like a giant FU to all of us. And now you have this pandemic, this once-in-a-lifetime pandemic. It's not all out of farce. It's not all out of nothing. The movement has to continue if we're going to have a fighting chance, because this is just the beginning. The other day, if you're watching the news, tornadoes We have to stay on message and we have to stay on task. You can't sit here and just do nothing and be defeated by what's happened. We knew that if Bernie Sanders didn't get the nomination outright, that this is what would happen. But the same thing that happened in 2016 can't happen. We can't just sit by and listen to him and support who he tells us. We have to do what he taught us. That's all I wanted to say. You know, I want to encourage people out there who may be, you know, on the fence. Don't be on the fence. Do what you can. The United States can't function without us. Our buying power controls this whole goddamn world. We got to make a decision if we're going to continue to support the Walmarts and the Amazons and the Exxons who are destroying our planet. We have to do something. We can't count on Congress. We can't count on them. And then I saw somebody in the comments saying, oh, well, people need to strike. The plan was get Bernie the nomination and then strike against them. That's why they undermined the movement from the beginning. Mm-hmm. We got to teach our kids, and we got to keep on putting pressure on these people, or we're going to be looking at what? When we're going to get old, and they're going to still talking about I Have a Dream by Martin Luther King, and the same thing is going to keep going on. That's all I wanted to say. I wanted to just put some encouragement out there to stay on message, and just, if you don't think it can get worse than this, trust me, it can, because what I wouldn't give to still be carrying that fucking toilet tissue out here instead of carrying dirt to bury people.
All right, sister. Thank you so much, Kira, for calling up. I appreciate you. And wow, yeah, another excellent call. That's tough, sister. That's tough. I feel you all the way. I feel you all the way on that. You know, I was, I've covered COVID-19. I've covered some of the reporting that's coming out about disparities and poor people and black people and Latino people and poor white people, and and we use the analogy of America's like an apartment building, and the poorest of us live in the basement, and then those, the
90 seconds.
People doing a little bit better live on the first floor, and our 1%ers live on the penthouse. And when the problems come, when the issues come, it floods the basement and the first floor. That's who catches the hail. And just so happens, a lot of brown and black people live in the basement. Some live on the first floor, and a lot of poor white people live on the first floor, and some of them live in the basement too. So that's who's catching it.
60 seconds.
We got this thing in America where we believe, because of propaganda, that the better you're doing, the better a person you are. Well, I've never met harder working people who had less than I have met in the last 10 years. Hard-working people, the best of us have the least of us. That's what I've discovered when I've gone around the country. So we got to keep fighting. I truly believe it. And if you do, and I would say it, if you sit on your hands after you've been awakened, if you sit on your hands and you do nothing except pout and walk back in your house, if once you know, you can't unknow what you know. You know
10
what we're up
seconds.
against. And if your solution to it is to do nothing, well, that is irresponsible because you are woke. A person who doesn't know what we're dealing with, who goes, they don't know anything. I can't hold them responsible. You can't hold a person responsible who has no clue. But if you're one of the wolf pack, or if you're someone who's informed, and you decide that you're not going to get involved because you're upset, it's okay. Like, once again, guys, it's okay to be upset now for a moment. It's okay to take a beat, to take a breath. It's okay to gather oneself. But how could you not call it irresponsible not to be involved when we know what we're up against? And you're able-bodied, you're a person here, you're alive, you're able. We got to get involved. We can't just go and just say, I quit, I don't, because I've been getting that a lot lately. Hopefully people will come back. So let's encourage people to come back, encourage people to be involved, to stay involved, to get on board, because we got to fight this fight. This is literally the fight of our lives. No other campaign was saying the things and preaching the mottos that we preached of not me, us. No other campaign was saying you got to fight for you and fight for people that you don't know. The same way you fight for yourself. Who else was saying that? I didn't hear that in Kamala Harris' stump speech. I didn't hear that in Amy Klobuchar's stump speech. That ain't the Joe Biden stump speech. That's our stump speech. That's because we believed it. So we got to act like we believe it and keep the party going, Johnson. All right. 703, you're live. TB Tuesdays, what's your name? What's your comment? (703). (443), you're live. TBT Tuesdays, what's your name and what's your comment?
443, Tim, that might be myself. Can you hear me?
Yes, I got you.
Tim, it's good to be on. This is David from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So my comment, actually, before I do that, I just wanted to give you actually a quick shout out. I know you take so many of our calls, but so many of us, don't stop to appreciate the time that you take out to do things. But the part that I appreciate you for is actually I'm a Chinese American, and not a lot of progressive voices, as well intended as they may be, ever take the time to actually speak to issues that, fairly, to be fair, there's only a few of us, and we don't usually make too much of a presence on the political stage, but you still took the time out to talk about how this coronavirus is affecting discrimination against Asians on the street. And also when Andrew Yang responded with this whole Uncle Chain craziness, you criticized that. Not a lot of people are going to take time out of their day on the air to do that. So I definitely appreciate you doing that. But my comment tonight actually ties a little bit into that, because growing up, not only am I a Chinese American, I was actually born in China. So I'm a naturalized American. So I guess I'm what the Democratic establishment will call a privileged person these days for not wanting to vote for Joe Biden, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah, and the way I look at it is, growing up, I had to deal with a lot of bullies, as you can imagine. And I know the Asian and Black experience is not necessarily the same, but I'm sure you've encountered people like this. So both types of bullies are two sides of the same coin. On one side, you have people who pick on you because of who you are, i.e. your race, where you come from. They want you to make you feel bad and oppressed over that. On the other hand, you have bullies who pick on you over the things you are not, meaning not cool enough, being overweight, not thin enough, not popular enough, not cool enough, not dressed well enough. You understand what I'm saying? So regardless of what's coming up, if you're underprivileged, you're going to be attacked by both types of people. They're both sides of the same coin. Well, right now, when somebody tells me that Joe Biden is the quote unquote the lesser evil, how is that any different than just the person who knows good enough to sweet talk me, even though they still have disdain for me behind my back? You understand what I'm saying? It's the same type of person that thinks that they're God's gift to earth, that for example, if they like a woman, that they should be able to reach out and touch them without their permission, and somehow that's okay, somehow that's the way it's got to be. That they're always going to be the ones who call the shots, and we're just lucky to get whatever we can get. And if somebody doesn't understand why that's a problematic thing to ask a person to do, then maybe they haven't spent enough time with underprivileged people to understand how that might be a concern. I mean, am I being unreasonable, or do you think that's a perspective that's fair?
Wow, brother. Well, first of all, man, I want to thank you for calling up and thank you for the kind words in the beginning. Now, of course, it's very reasonable. Like, we should stand up for the most vulnerable people in our society, stand up for each other, stand up for our friends. That's how I was raised. That's how I feel. Luckily, very fortunate for me, and I didn't realize this until like years later, man, to come of age in D.C., which is a very diverse area where all types of people are. We work with every different type of nationality, orientation, gender, disability, anything that you can imagine. In the District of Columbia here, the nation's capital, it's pretty much like New York, where you're going to meet everybody. So you can only a complete asshole would not value all people. You don't have the benefit of being, well, I don't know these people. These people may be different. No, like, if you've been around, you open your mind up a little bit, you're going to meet all types of great people. And not so great people. They're going to find out all types of people have those types of people within their group. So I get it. This is something I struggle with, my brother. And here's one of the things I deal with. I do not play the lesser of two evils thing. I don't want to play that shit like you don't want to play it, and you see it for what it is. Evil's still evil, right? Different degrees of it. The only thing that bothers me, and I've had to fight this, is I never want to be a person who forgets how bad some other people have it. Right? So that's a problem because I don't want to do that, but I still, brother, even though I'm aware that there are people who are going to be hurt, I know there's going to be people going to be hurt anyway, no matter what I do, because of our crap system. If I could and if you could, we'd wipe the slate clean. They're going to try to shame the hell out of us if we don't support Biden, but I have no belief that he's committed to us in any way. I don't think he's committed to you. I don't think he's committed to me or anyone else except his donors and the people that put him in power. So as much as it pains me to say I can't support a guy like that. And I know he may do marginally better things for black folks, for instance, than Trump. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe he will. But God damn it, I can't fall for it. I can't support him. And I got to call him out. And I respect you for calling him out too, and for you holding his feet to the fire. And if they were to call you privileged, let them. We both know the real deal. We know what it's like to be teased, bullied, overlooked, marginalized, stereotyped. We know what it's like. I've been the only black in the room a lot of times, and not because I was the executive either. I'm going to go next call. I thank you for yours. I thank you. 214 is gone. What happened to my 214? Okay, 214 is gone. Just had my 443. Sorry, guys. Got to write down these numbers or things get mixed up, and that's not good. Because people wait. Okay. Now, what happened to 703? 703? 703? All right. That's my second attempt at 703, guys. Somebody fell asleep. 214 is gone, and then we have 325. Bam! 325, you're live. TB Tuesdays. How you doing?
Man, you should know my area code by now, brother. Shantae's in the house, man. Yo, I'm gonna say some shit real quick because I know mad people calling in. But I'm gonna just break it down like this, yo. Obama, he's the pimp. Biden's the trick. And all the voters and the DNC that supported Biden, we the motherfucking Johns. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because of three reasons, man. Our people, we voted for him because he was the vice president of a black cat. Let's be real, man. A lot of these brothers and sisters, man, they just voted for Biden because he got name recognition. Second, a lot of people voted for him because they fell for his lies. Nigga was lying on the debate stage. He lies when he's talking, giving speeches. And then the third reason, I think people feel sorry for him because they know the motherfucker's slow. It's kind of like, you ever went to a basketball game and they got this one kid, he can't dribble, can't pass, can't shoot, but at the end of the season, they get this motherfucker a trophy because everybody in the crowd like, oh, bless Timmy's heart. Bless Timmy's heart. Meanwhile, the motherfucker who doing all the work, making all the motherfucking points, holding the team, taking the championship, when he say something, they like, man, you're not a team player. You know Timmy need this trophy more than you. You good. That's how they treated Bernie, man. Bernie comes along. He has all the ideas, all the policies. He has people starting a revolution. But they sit on him. And at the end of the day, I really think he just got tired of fighting, man. He got tired of fighting. It's just like you fight with your boss, you fight with your wife, you fight with your family. Sometimes you just be like, you know what, man? Fuck it. I'm just done. And that's what he went through. because Obama and shit endorsed him. Fuck, what the fuck is that about? I'm gonna just break it down to everybody. All the black people listening right now, yo, I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Obama. Obama is the conversation that us black people, we don't want to have, because we're going to take that win because he was the first black president. But at the same time, we know that nigga wasn't about shit. Obama is like OJ in the 90s. We all know that nigga did that shit.
All right.
But we ain't going to mention
All right.
that shit in public.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? So real talk, people, let's keep this revolution going, man. Because Bernie, it's not just him. Everybody turned on him. We got to keep this shit going. Tim, I love you, man. I got to get up out of here because I'm not feeling too good. Keep it real. Hey, I'm going to make a sound bite.
All right, guys. I know people got things they want to do on the show. They got things they want to promote. It's the way to do it. The way to do it is through email. We talk offline. We set up an arrangement. Then you promote your show. That's all. We respect the platform. I respect you. You respect me. We work together that way. Shantez, I like you calling up. Want to encourage it. I support it. It's not, I try not to censor people, but let's watch the MFs, the N-words, and all that a little bit. I know when you do your show, you do what you want to do, but here, just going to ask that you kind of temper it just a little bit. Like a 1 or 2 ain't going to kill nobody, but when it's littered, it gets bad. And, yeah. Love your point of view, though. Sounds like something I said earlier today about Obama. Check out DJ Vlad with Ari Spears, a sit-down that Ari Spears had with DJ Vlad where they talk about Obama. And it had me going, it was so infuriating, I went and talked about it on Instagram. 971, you're live. TB Tuesdays. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Oh, my God. I'm on Tim Black.
What's up?
This is Denise from Portland. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Go right ahead.
Okay. All right. So I did want to talk about Obama's endorsement. And I'm really upset about it because the only thing he can come up with is to support the ACA and keep Medicaid. And that's it. And so I'm really upset about that. And I don't understand how Bernie Sanders can just go along with all of this and pretend like none of it kind of matters. Because that's kind of like the feeling I get. But it all really matters. So I don't understand what's really going on with him. But I do know that he does care about what's going on in the country and with the coronavirus. So, because everybody else is just basically trying to cover their asses right now, including Trump, but so are the other Democrats. So I'm just really upset about all of that.
All right, sister. Well, look, thank you so much for calling up. I appreciate it. And you got every right to be upset. I'd be upset, too. I'm upset about a lot of stuff, too. What can I tell you? I don't think that it's not that he doesn't care. I think he does care. I think you did say he cares. But like, what to do? What to do? What to do? Like, how do you... some people make me feel like it's probably better if he didn't even run. Why run if you can't win? People are mad saying he took my money and he didn't win. Now, I could see if you were, I don't know, a Deval Patrick supporter. First of all, candidates run and they don't win. Only one can win. There's 25 candidates up there everybody took donations except for Bloomberg. Now, those candidates, except for Biden, should be upset. Bernie was the last man standing. And it took them all coalescing behind Biden to take him down. And you say, Bernie took my money. Dude, ladies, people, I like to believe that I would have died in the contest. I'd have just been like, music, theme music would have played, and dramatic theme music, and, and pan to the left, and darkness would come over me, and everybody shed a tear. Tim went out like a soldier. I would like to think that. I don't know, but I'd like to think that's what I would do. But we can all have these fantastical, dramatic thoughts about what we do or what somebody else would do. But know this, nobody has put as much on the line. The guy had a heart attack on a campaign trail. I mean, the further he could go is be like MLK and die for you, be like JFK, get shot for you and die for you. I mean, that's what it takes for people to be convinced that this was an actual thing and people actually put it on the line. There's people in his family who died while he was on the campaign trail. No one talks about that. Being in the hospital, I know his wife, Jane follows me on Twitter. She said great things about this show. I know she was upset. She was concerned when her husband was in the hospital bed. People wondering if he's going to be okay with heart pain, with a heart attack. People just act like that was nothing. That was something. I wish it was more. I wish we made it to the promised land. I guess we're going to have to keep going, though. So I understand your frustrations, though. I get that. I say it again just for anybody who just tuned in. I wanted us to go to convention, Johnson. But what I will not do is make my anger and frustration be all about Bernie and what that person didn't do. Or about a person on this campaign and what they didn't do. One person didn't get us here, and one person didn't stop us. It took a lot. So, hey, that's how I feel about it. I don't know if that makes things better or not, but you backed the right campaign. You backed the right campaign. I'm sorry we didn't get the outcome we wanted yet. But you did the right thing, Johnson. Take solace in that. Because sometimes now, that's all you got, is knowing you did the right thing. You know what I'm talking about. You've been there before. It sounds like you're somebody who might understand that. All right. 775. You are live. What's your name? What's your comment?
Hi, Tim. My name is Rick Shepard, and my first comment is I'm a new patron as of like an hour ago.
Hey, Rick. Well, congratulations. Welcome to the Wolf Pack, Rick.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. So you guys are you're one of only like 4 that I'm a patron for. So it's a small world, and I'm glad you're in it. So I wanted to say, you're absolutely right about the Biden thing. As a progressive, as a candidate for office, there's no way I could get behind someone who's not on the right side of my concerns. And it doesn't matter who else likes him. My vote is mine, just like your vote is yours. And voter shaming is bullshit. So you do you, right? So I appreciate what you're doing a great deal. It means a lot to me, and I'm glad that you're out there expressing yourself, and the best I can do is throw you a few bucks to help you do what you do.
Well, thank you, Rick. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it. Did you say you're running for office?
I am. I am indeed.
Well, tell us a little bit about it. A couple minutes. Just tell us about what position you're running for. What office are you seeking?
I am seeking to replace Mark Amodei as Nevada's 2nd Congressional District representative. Mark Amodei was Trump's campaign manager in Nevada in 2016, and he's the only Republican federal representative we have left in the state of Nevada. I was a delegate for Bernie Sanders in 2016 down in Las Vegas during that 16-hour shit show where no chairs were thrown.
Yes.
I watched the 2016 primary get rigged. It was rigged in front of my eyes, and I've been ride or die Bernie bro since that. I occupied Wall Street. I exposed institutional racism in the Reno Police Department that resulted in the termination of the chief of police, numerous other officers, and statewide policy changes. And I'm the Environment and Climate Justice Committee Chair for the NAACP. I'm ready to go kick some ass in Congress.
Wow, brother. Rick, that sounds very interesting, man. Thank you for calling up, and tell people where to go to find out more about your campaign, bro.
I'm at rickshepard.com. You can also find me at markamade.com. He didn't have the wherewithal to buy his own domain name, so the guy I'm trying to replace, I own him.
That's a great start, Rick. That's a great start, man. Look, hit me up, man. I like your spirit, man. I like your qualifications. I like what you're talking about, brother. I've kind of gotten out of the business of bringing on new candidates. Things have been kind of rough over here, but there's no reason why we can't talk again, man. And go to rickshepard.com, and I love it, man. I love the chutzpah. I love the spirit, and yeah. Fight for it, Rick. I love it, man. Unconventional. Jiu-jitsu. Ninjutsu. Rick Shepard, man. You can use that, too, if that helps. I don't know. I'm Rick Shepard, and I do not approve this message. But Tim Black does. 917. You're live. TB Tuesdays. What's your name? What's your comment?
Tim, hey, it's Kennedy from Brooklyn. How you doing?
Kennedy in the house. What's up, man?
Always great to speak with you. So again, we're getting punched in the stomach by Obama coming in last minute, the way he did with the DNC chair, and the way he always managed to, stay in hiding until the very last second and use that leverage to screw us all over again. He did it with Keith Ellison, and now he's doing it with Bernie, and we're all expected to just smile along and nod and vote for Joe Biden. Oh, hell no. I mean, honestly, for this movement, I think, I hate to say this because this is the last scenario that I would want, but I'd rather have 4 more years of Trump than 8 potential years of a fake woke progressive who is not going to actually do anything and isn't going to actually set the movement back another 8 years. Because anybody who would fall for the Biden ruse is going to end up losing in the end anyway. We know this. And then it'll be like, oh, you see, the Democrats ruined everything, blah, 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 blah. I just can't. So I'm just going to call it out. There's no way in hell Joe Biden's going to get my vote. As far as Obama's concerned, he's just a smooth-talking snake oil salesman. And anybody who hasn't caught that by now, they should just stay asleep. Don't vote, because you're dumb. There's people within Bernie's camp, which, I'd like to say I trust them, but I don't. I don't trust Jeff Weaver. Something about him has always rubbed me wrong. And Ro Khanna. If I could punch one politician in the face, I'll tell you who it is, because I don't trust that guy. He's a snake, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if that's the truth, but I'm a New Yorker. I have spider senses. Whenever I smell, a whiff of a liar or a cheat or a phony, I just call it. And Ro Khanna, fake. Same thing with Jeff Weaver, phony. I mean, maybe he has a comic shop, and that's great. I like comics, but I don't like Jeff Weaver.
God damn.
With the whole Obama endorsement, honestly, I am so angry. I voted for that dude twice, and I feel super duped, and it's really easy to, fool people, and it's easier to fool people than to let them know that they've been fooled, and here we are all this time later, and he's still pulling the same tricks.